Hello and welcome to another Witcher lore video. In this one we're gonna talk about the Giant Centipede, or known as Yghern in Elder speech. If you have played Blood and Wine, you probably remember them bursting out of the ground in Toussaint, 12 feet long, armored, hissing and ready to ruin your day. But behind that terrifying fight is a monster with some seriously interesting lore. According to old tales, these things weren't born from nature alone. They were said to have been created by the dryads of Brokilon Forest as weapons of vengeance against humans who dared to cut too deep into their woods. Supposedly, when you chop one in half, it just splits in two centipedes. Of course, that's nonsense, but it says a lot about how much people feared them. One scholar once wrote, "All this nonsense about giant centipedes only shows how intensely people fear these beasts, as they fear all things that are not human." The monster was also mentioned in the books where Geralt first met Ciri. While traveling through Brokilon Forest, Geralt and the dryad Bren encountered what appeared to be a halfling girl being attacked by a monster. The creature is described as massive, many-legged, armored, bursting from the undergrowth, unmistakably a giant centipede. Geralt quickly intervenes, killing the beast to save the halfling, only to discover that the halfling is actually Princess Cirilla of Cintra. So what exactly are these things? A full-grown giant centipede can reach around 12 feet long. Its entire body is wrapped in dark brown chitin, thick enough to deflect swords, crossbow bolts, and even simple spells. Under that shell, hundreds of hooked limbs let it burrow like a drill. You'll never see it coming until the ground itself starts to tremble. When it attacks, it moves in fast, tight circles around its prey, closing in until it can lash out with its massive mandibles. Then comes the venom, strong enough to kill a man within seconds, or, if you're unlucky, melt through your armor first. As one writer traveling through Toussaint put it, "Not only do these beasts look hideous to the eye, they can do colossal damage to the flesh as well. I decidedly advise against them." Now, back to the origin story, the dryads of Brokilon. You know how the forest hates humans, right? In Witcher lore, Brokilon is basically a living entity. It defends itself through the dryads who don't take kindly to loggers or settlers. Well, legend says they once took ordinary centipedes and twisted them with their ancient magic, creating the Yghern, monstrous guardians that would protect their sacred woods. The Witcher world blurs myth and reality constantly, but it's interesting to know that Brokilon is one of the few places where these things still live naturally, burrowed deep under the roots and moss. If you head to Toussaint, that fairy tale land of knights, wine, and vineyard, you'd never think anything this grotesque lived beneath it. What's really fascinating is that they share the underground with another monster, the Shelmar. Somehow these two creatures have formed a weird kind of alliance. The centipedes eat the small creatures that feed on Shelmar's dung, and in return Shelmar keeps the tunnels clear. It's gross, but it works. So how do you even fight one of these things? Witchers use the Yghern sign. If cast in just the right time, the centipede can't burrow or counter back, and that's when you move in. It's better to always aim for the front, never the back. The armor there is nearly invincible. Once it takes few hits, it curls into a loop. That's your signal to get out of the way. In a few seconds, it will spin around in a deadly sweep that can break bones even through the armor. Now, if you think the regular ones are bad, let's talk about their creepy cousin, the Pale Widow. This one's rare, mutated subspecies. Pale white, larger, and adapted to life in deep underground caverns. It is introduced in Blood and Wine expansion, and is a fight you'll never forget. The Pale Widow's body produces a strange milky substance, albumen, which alchemists prize because It's used to brew mutagenic potions. In other words, people have actually tried to breed these things in labs. Facing one in its lair is terrifying. The earth shakes, the tunnels echo, and you never know where it will strike next. Like most monsters in the Witcher world, the giant centipedes live half in fact and half in fear. Peasants told stories that they were immortal, that cutting one in half only made two, that they were spawned by curses. None of that is true, of course, but it shows how deep the fear runs. You almost can't blame them. When a monster can come out of the ground without warning, fear is the only weapon you have. When searching for its mythology roots, I encountered a creature not in Slavic or European mythology, but in Japan. Although I don't know if there is a direct connection, the Ōmukade, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, in Japanese mythology could be inspiration or maybe just an accident. In Japanese mythology, the Ōmukade is a giant man-eating centipede said to hunt mountains. It's so huge it makes a grown man look like a child. Its body, a living wall of armored segments and hooked legs. The color shifts between dark red and deep purple, glinting like wet stone in the dark. Like the Yghern, it feeds on anything unlucky to cross its path. Humans, serpents, or even dragons. In one old legend, a hero defeats the creature not with weapons or spells, but by discovering its strange weakness: human saliva. One spit-covered arrow to the head was enough to bring down the monster. Now, while the Witcher world isn't connected to Japanese myths directly, the parallels are striking. And who knows, maybe Sapkowski had read about it in his youth. And with that, we reach the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. Until the next video, take care.